Hello, this is Team East Coasters, and this is the final presentation for our Smart Medication List project. What we're going to go over is the Gantt chart, some details on how the project was completed, our project status, including functionality, framework, deployment, and an overall summary, as well as additional features that we brainstormed for this project for the future, as well as some comments on the rubric. And then we'll end with the demonstration of our app. First of all, for our Gantt chart, this was pretty large, so we ended up having to split it up into 3 separate slides here. And there's a lot of detail, so we'll just take a look at the major updates that we completed in each of these sections. So for the month of October, we were able to complete most of our research. We understood our requirements, mostly. That was an iterative process. We were able to do our hello world for the back end and the front end. Then we were able to deploy these Docker images into Jenkins and the HDAP web hosting. Then for the first half of November, we were able to have the back end send data to the front end server. Then the back end was also able to access FHIR, and we also created the FHIR patient and medication creation script. Then for the second half of November up until now, we were able to integrate that FHIR creation script into our web environment. We also integrated the drug description lookup. And we were also able to pull the FHIR data that we ended up pushing into the FHIR database in our web framework. We also created our front-end skeleton, and then we populated the information in that front end with the data from the back end. And as you can tell by these boxes, this provides some clarity on who exactly presented each of the presentations during this project. As you can see here, myself and Victor and Jim are presenting this one. And previously, Alan presented deliverable 3, Sean and Crit presented the previous presentation, and Faridi presented the first one. So we had representation from all 6 team members there in presenting these presentations. Now here's a little extra information on how exactly we were able to complete the project. Our general framework was holding weekly meetings online and inviting the mentors and the TA. We went over accomplishments from the previous week, any help needed, and our next steps. Then we incorporated that mentor feedback as well as the TA feedback into our next steps, and divided our work to our team members based on our project manager, quality assurance, or developer roles. Then we also held additional meetings with the team members based on any help needed. It could be 1 or 2 extra meetings per week as a result of that. Then we ended up communicating with our team members over Slack when anything came up or we wanted to discuss anything. And similarly with the mentors over email seemed to be the main form of communication. Then the TAs and other students over Piazza. Next, we'll take a look at our project status, more particularly the functionality. So the first thing we'll talk about here is the display requirements. So we were tasked to create a patient medication dashboard on a web portal. That's the general idea. And it's supposed to include the following fields: the drug name, plain English description of that drug, the dosage time per the universal medical schedule, which splits things up into morning, lunchtime, dinner time, or bedtime doses to make it more clear, as well as the dosage amount in those certain time frames. And the back-end requirements were to use a FHIR database, as well as using example patient data to populate our website, because we are unable to connect to the hospital system at this time. And this is an example display that was provided by our mentor, Blake Anderson. That was very helpful to understanding the main requirements of this project. So as you can see by the green check marks here, we were able to complete all of these items. So our overall status for this section is complete. Next, we'll look at our framework. So we have our data applications, as well as our controllers, and finally our front-end view. And as you can see by the green highlighting, all these framework components were completed as well. Next, we'll look at the deployment project status. As if you go to this link, you'll see that our website is working as intended, as you'll see how the demo will work. And additionally, you can also run this website through Docker by following these instructions, which we'll also post in our deliverable 5. So we were able to complete both of these items, so our overall status for the deployment is complete as well. And finally, based on our requirements and discussions with the mentors and TAs, I'm happy to say that there are actually no outstanding elements of our application, and we are all complete. Next, through the process of speaking within our team and with our mentors, we identified a lot of possible additional features that would be interesting to include into this application in the future, including the following items. We could incorporate the NDC9 and NDC labeler codes for each drug, which the mentors have said would be a helpful addition. We could also eventually add the ability to delete medication. We could add weekly and monthly views, provide patients with notifications on when to take the medications, when to get refills. We could also incorporate pictures of pills from the NIH Pillbox database. That's to make it easier for them to identify which pills are which, in case they're confused, as well as incorporating outside instrumentation to check on patient readings. For example, changing the dosage of a medication in real time based on a reading of, let's say, blood glucose levels for diabetes. Next, I'll pass it on to Jim for the demo.
Hi, my name is Jim Gorman. I'm going to be walking you through a short demonstration of the Smart Medication List website. The first thing we did in advance was we seeded the attached FHIR database with known patient data. But in reality, if this website was to go live, the patient's login would be linked to all their data ahead of time. So this prototype website lets the user put in any credentials and password. So the first thing is we land at a home page. I put some filler content in here, but in reality, any content can be put in here for the benefit of the patient, maybe an explanation of how the website works. There's an about page that the team that hosts the website could put in any content they want in here. And here we come into the meat of the website. It's a dashboard. For now, we can put in any patient ID we want, but in reality, if this website went live, this would again be linked to the patient's login. So I'm going to put in this patient ID, which again was seeded ahead of time. And here we can see the patient's complete dashboard. It's a grid of all of the information. At first, in the first left column, we see the medication name. Second column is we see how to take it. In this case, all 7 of the medications are to be taken orally, swallow or take by mouth. Then we see the breakfast, lunch, dinner, and bedtime doses, if applicable. And overall, this dashboard gives the patient an idea of what they should be taking in terms of their medications on a daily basis. They have the ability to delete the medication, but this isn't implemented at this time.
And that concludes the demo, and thank you to all the TAs and mentors for helping us with the project. We've definitely learned a lot, and really appreciate your support. Thank you.